Okay, well, thank you very much. Kumusta mga kababayan, kapatid, and kaibigan ko dito po sa Malaysia, mga Filipinos po, as well as mga kapatid, kaibigan, at kababayan, friends natin, mga Malaysiano po. I would like to invite each and every one of you po. Once again, nandito po sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Ito po si Nico Fabian. Today is January 7, no? January 7, and today is Wednesday. Hope everything is running smoothly sa mga buhay natin po. Ang mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia, our fellow countrymen, overseas Filipino workers are working away from our beloved country which we call the Philippines. No? Kung nasan man kayo, be it in Saudi Arabia, be it in Kuwait, be it in Qatar, be it in London, be it in the United States of America, no? Or elsewhere po, even Singapore, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand. No? So, welcome na welcome, and I would like to say salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam sa ating lahat. Filipinos din po, dyan sa Pilipinas, parehas din po ang greetings natin for today, January 7 on a Wednesday. Sorry, I would like to ask 1,000 apology to all my followers po because I didn't manage to do, sabi natin, itong vlogging natin earlier this morning or this afternoon dahil po medyo busy tayo, no? And for the information of mga kababayan, kaibigan, and kapatid natin po dito sa Malaysia and mga followers ng Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, I would like to inform you that wala tayo dito or wala tayo dyan po sa Sabah or sa Kota Kinabalu po. I'm now here dito po sa Kuala Lumpur, and of course together with my family, especially ang son ko po, may bagong bahay siya dito po sa Kuala Lumpur. So, I want to see ang bagong condominium na po. And at the same time, I would like to welcome ang anak namin ni Mary Lou and ako sa ang holiday. Holiday po, no? It's another holiday for our second daughter, si Nikki Fabian, who just came out from sa trabaho po abroad because she's working abroad po. And she will be staying here. She will be staying here for I think 1 or 2 months po. So we hope, no? Ang tatay niya sa nanay niya po, we are hoping that she will enjoy her holiday here together with her sister, si Saint. Ang better half ni Saint is si Sweet, and of course ang first apo namin po si Rhea, si Rhea po. And of course, ang mga kapatid, siblings po, no? We call them siblings, si Saint, si Nikki, si Marco, and ang bunso namin po, si Shane, was still studying. Alright, let's go direct to the point na po sa topic natin ngayon po. Our topic for today is, I'll be touching on, may mga video clips ako I prepared for all of you po, no? And this time around, we will try to see an interview of Senator Amy Marcos. Who is Amy Marcos? Amy Marcos is the eldest sister of our president, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, no? Who is now the president of the Philippines. And everybody knows what is happening between the ate and the younger brother, si President Bongbong Marcos po, no? Medyo may konting problema sila po when it comes to family. And anyway, family is always a family po. Maski na anong mga problema po, we hope that sooner or later, no, they will be able to solve their whatever conflicts meron sila po. So now, I'm going to touch more on the interview between or ang interview ni Karen excuse me, ni Karen Davila, one of the well-respected media personality dyan po sa Pilipinas. And dami siya mga questions po, very interesting questions. She shoot kay Senator Amy Marcos po, even to the extent na they even touch a topic tungkol sa what happened sa Venezuela po, no? What happened sa Venezuela. So I have few video clips dito. So I would like to share with you ang mga followers ko dito po sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. So you will understand, you will know, you will have an idea what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas, no? Especially the question is, a lot of people since last year, no? Since last year and last month, before Christmas po, ang dami mga Filipinos keep on asking, we want to see the government of Marcos or administration Marcos as a promise that no Merry Christmas for those who are involved in a very big corruption anomaly dyan po sa Pilipinas, and I'm referring to the flood control projects, and that includes also the national or 2025 national budget, which has been described as the worst corrupt national budget in the history of the Philippines. And next is ito po, last Monday, nag-sign din ang 2026 national budget, ang GAA, General Appropriation Act, si President Bongbong Marcos, and it means it's already signed. It means it will come into law, no? Immediately po, no? After 15 days after gazetting it, no? Dapat may 15 days yata publication, and then it will be implemented or enforced po. Ang the amount of this year's 2026 national budget sa Philippines po is amounting to 6.973 trillion pesos. Such a big amount po, no? Such a big amount. And of course, there's still a lot of items which are questionable or being questioned by our legislators, by our senators, by our congressmen, and of course, ordinary people po, ordinary people, ang mga Filipinos po. Anyway, sige lang, let's move on sa programa natin and focus tayo ngayon po dyan pa po sa interview ni Senator Amy Marcos carried out by Karen Davila. To start with po, let me share with you itong video clip. Video clip po. Paano ba ito? Video clip about the corruption case, no? And let's watch and listen to this po. Sandali, ha? Alright. May cue tayo dito. And may cue tayo dito. Report dito po, no? Report from Agenda News. Let's watch and listen to this report. Sandali.
Channel. Tinatago umano ni dating House Speaker Martin Romualdez ang surprise flood control witness na si Fordy Gutesa. Yan ang agenda report ni Hannah T. Nasa kulyam na raw ni former Speaker Martin Romualdez si surprise witness Orly Gutesa. Ayon yan kay former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavin Singson.
Inuuli na, pinaligtad na, tinago na. Gagamitin nila yun.
Si Gutesa ay biglaang lumitaw sa isang Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing na dating security consultant umano ni Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldi Ko at idinetalye ang limpak-limpak na cash deliveries umano sa bahay ni Ko at maging kay dating House Speaker Romualdez. Basura ang tawag sa higit kumulang 48 million pesos na nasa bawat maleta.
Sa katotohanan ng lahat ay nilagdaan ko ang salaysay na ito ay kusang loob at walang anumang pamimilit at bunsod lamang na hangarin matulungan ang ating bansa.
Matapos ang explosive allegation ni Gutesa, tila nawala siyang parang bula at sa gitna ng mga ito, inihatol ng isang Manila court na falsified daw ang salaysay niya. Yan ay dahil peke umano ang pirma ng notary lawyer sa kanyang affidavit na si Petri Rose Espera. Bagamat hindi idinetalye ni Singson ang exact location ni Gutesa, nakatago na raw ito kay Romualdez at plano raw siyang gamitin oras na masampahan siya ng kaso sa ombudsman.
Pero walang kwentang ombudsman dahil ganun na rin.
Sinusubukan pa naming humingi ng official statement mula sa kampo ni Romualdez. Sa gitna ng flood control scandal investigation, bumaba sa pwesto ang dating House Speaker at bagamat humarap sa ICI kaugnay ng investigasyon, inirekomenda na ng DPWH ang paghahain ng plunder, graft at bribery charges laban sa presidential cousin at kay Ko kaugnay ng pagkakadawit sa investigasyon. Para sa agenda, Hannah T. Billionaire News Channel.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin ang agenda report regarding itong flood control project, anomalous deals, and they're talking about, ito si Marine, retired Marine, Master Sergeant yata ito, Sergeant ba ito po? Si Oli Gutesa. Remember him? He was the one who came out openly and linked si former Speaker of the House, Martin Romualdez po, sa flood control project anomalous deals. No? And according to the report po, na si Martin Romualdez now po, or si Oli is now being kept by Martin Romualdez po. No? And he will change his testimony or ang affidavit niya po. That is according to former governor ng Ilocos Norte yata yan po, si Chavit Singson po. So that's the issue. But why I shared with you this video clip po, because it has something to do with former Speaker Martin Romualdez. No? Kasi ang issue natin kay Senator Amy Marcos, the interview between Karen Davila and Senator Amy Marcos is on Martin Romualdez. Representative Martin Romualdez, the former House Speaker of the House dyan po sa Pilipinas. Alright, so now, you already have that idea po, no? The reason why I played ang video clip ni agenda report. So, let's go and move on po. Dito ngayon po kay Amy Marcos, Senator Amy Marcos po. No? Amy Marcos. Let's watch and listen to this video clip po. Watch and listen carefully and 100% po, you will have an idea of what is happening po talaga dyan sa Pilipinas. Sa interview kay Senator Amy Marcos, si Karen Davila. Let's watch and listen to this.
Well, it seems apparent. Ang sabi mo, dinideny nila o hindi linilista si Martin, yung aking pinsang buo, nakakaloka talaga, si Bonjing. Si Bonjing, hindi naman binabanggit. In addition to that, aside from the fact that they're somehow forgetting his name, there have also been very fervent denials that there is any direct link daw. Wala raw connection. Kaya napapakamot na naman ako ng ulo sa mga statement ng mga Rimulya. In-interview mo, nakinig naman ako. Kasi sabi ko nga, talaga naman guilty as sin naman at mula naman talaga dyan. So I'm wondering why this is occurring. Either two things could happen. I was thinking that perhaps after Saldico you would be charged, but evidently that's not the case, when in fact that should have been. And thereafter, i-jogging na lang yung kaso. Alam na natin yan, di ba? Ipopospon lang ipopospon. Mamaya, dismissed on technical grounds, may kakulangan, blah, blah, blah. Alam na natin. Pero in this case, in your face, talagang dinideny, pinagtatanggol, pinagtatakpan. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan na.
So, frankly, you are not hopeful or optimistic because the DPWH did announce, I remember by November last year, they did announce that they are recommending charges to be filed against the former speaker. I remember, I think the president himself announced that the DPWH was recommending it. But given it is now January 2026, are you optimistic, Senator Marcos, of any kind?
No, to tell you the truth, nung August pa, nananagilid na kami. Paano, nag-umpisa si Chairman Marcoleta, mga backup kami doon sa Blue Ribbon, and we started investigating this flood control mess. And then we brought up the subjects of the unprogrammed, the 800 billion, pinakamalaking kitty ng DBM, the DPWH, and of course, all the insertions that magically appeared during the BICAM or the small BICAM in 2025. You will recall I never
never signed the 2025 budget either. And as a matter of fact, made a privileged speech in December 6th of 2024, urging E.S. Bersamin at that time and Secretary Amina, huwag papirmahin ang kapatid ko dyan, dadali tayo dyan. So you did this, you advised that? You told Secretary Mina Pangandama noon? Hindi, tumayo ako. May privilege speech ako doon. Talaga sinabi ko, huwag ninyo papayagan at patay tayo dito. Talagang kalukuhan to. At yung mga infrastructure projects, humingi ako ng listahan. I was asking for a list and all they told me, no, there's trillions there, but it's various infrastructure projects. Nagkakawad sa ulo-ulo. Anong various infrastructure projects? VIP? Anong pangalan ni VIP? Bakit walang listahan? Billion-billion? How is this possible? So I was really, really perplexed about that. And thereafter, they urged us, pirmahan ninyo yung BICAM report. Sabi ko, asan yung BICAM report? Ang kulit-kulit ko. Ano ako ng tanong? Basta pirmahan ninyo. Uy, hindi naman ako pwedeng pumirma. Hindi ko pa nakikita. Yun, yung mga blankety blank. May 67 yata na blank amounts. I'm like, alam mo, iluka na ako. Hindi ako nakapipirma ng mga blank check. Kaka-nervyos. And
Alright, yun po, narinig natin ang revelation, ang statement ni Senator Amy Marcos tungkol itong issue na ito ni first cousin niya po, si former Speaker Martin Romualdez po. Since last year po, everybody is talking about even ang ombudsman natin, newly appointed ombudsman or elected ombudsman po, or appointed yata, no? Si Remulla, Boyeng Remulla po, no? Na they were saying they will be filing cases, plunder cases against Martin Romualdez, no? And nothing happened hanggang ngayon po. The ICI, International Independent Commission on for Infrastructure, excuse me po, they also said wala daw ebidensya pa po against Martin Romualdez po. And tapos na lang ang 2025, hanggang ngayon nag-start na tayo ang 2026, dyan pa rin, ganun pa rin ang promesa ng Marcos administration. Let's see po kung they will do that or not po. No? Remember, si Representative o Congressman na Martin Romualdez is the first cousin of our President si Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Will Bongbong Marcos allow his first cousin to be behind bars? No? Or not? Sabi nila, blood is thicker than water. Let's see po. But as of the moment, galit na po ang mga Filipinos because we cannot see even big fish, no? Mastermind. They've been accusing si former Congressman Saldico, no? The-cancel ng passport niya po, may warrant of arrest na po, but hanggang dyan lang po. Hanggang dyan lang po. No arrest, he's still out, fugitive, we don't know which country po, and we facing a blank wall when it comes to whether Saldico will be arrested, brought to court, and face the allegation and answer the allegations po, and whether he will be found guilty. We still don't know po. But so far, the Filipinos, majority of us believe that the mastermind is not only one person po. It's not only, sabihin natin na si former Congressman Saldico. In fact, names are mentioned like former Speaker Martin Romualdez, even the name of our president, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. or BBM, already mentioned in the investigation. No? And we're still also included in the list, no, of names mentioned in the investigation or involved in this very big scandal, very big corruption case in the Philippines, the biggest in the history, amounting to trillions of pesos. Even the name of the First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos was mentioned even the son of the president, who is now the majority leader of the House of Representatives, si Sandro Marcos, also mentioned, and not to forget po, even cabinet secretaries and assistant secretaries po, government officials, top-ranking government officials, no? And of course, contractors po. Their names were mentioned, but until now, only one reported behind bars. And that is Madam Sara Diskaya. The rest po, salita lang. The rest, salita lang po. So let's see what will happen this 2026, the new year po. Huh? Everybody's watching, but if you're going to delay it po, every minute, every day, every week, every month, every year po, if you delay it po, mas lalo na po ang mga Filipinos is getting more angry and angry po. I hope it will not come to a point wherein we might have another People's Power 3. Sana lang, wag lang po. No? I know the Filipinos are peace-loving, forgiving, God-fearing po. And sana lang po. But the president must do something concrete, because at the moment, the majority of the Filipinos po do not trust, no more confident on President Ferdinand Marcos, no more confident on the government of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, and the trust and performance rating of the presidency, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, it was reported from -3. Now it was also reported in other survey. It is some were saying it's -14, -76. So who else believe the president? Unless if he wants that the Filipinos will trust him again, I think one of the major factor that he should do is make sure that the mastermind in this flood control projects will be put behind bars. But some people were saying, paano po? Because allegedly, reportedly, he has some involvement in this very big corruption anomalous deals dyan po sa Pilipinas. Dyan po sa Pilipinas. Alright, let's continue. On the question na si Karen Davila asked kay Senator Amy Marcos, totoo ba yun na mayroon kudeta? No? Change of the administration of Senate President Vicente Soto, as reported or rumored since last year po. Nandito po ang answer ni Senator Amy Marcos when he was asked to comment regarding this kudeta issue. Let's watch and listen to this.
Reality is, right now, iba-iba kasi masalimuot yung issue, ano? Right now, we have the largest minority in recent history. Siyam kami, 9. That's a very large minority. It's never happened before. The minorities have always been so meager and so small. That's the reason that the coup d'etat is always being discussed, because susukip ka lang ng apat okay na. Kapatid pa ni Alan, si Pia, ayan pa yung mga bilyar, ayan pa yung iba't iba na hindi naman masyadong happy. Kaya, eto nga, the question always arises. But the reality is, Cheese is very much beleaguered. Alan has his sister in the majority, so maybe there is some level of hesitation. The others are really dealing with the cases being filed against them. Si Bato cannot... where is he, by the way? Where is Senator Bato? We have no clue. Nung una, talagang nagte-text pa yan. Pero ngayon, hindi na namin maabot. Pero yung opisina niya, nakakapagpirma pa rin siya. Nagtatrabaho pa rin. Nagpapadala pa rin ng pirma,
yun po, narinig natin po si Senator Amy Marcos po on the issue of this kudeta rumors po, no? Of course, what he said, if you look at the history of the Senate, this is the only time wherein they have more opposition in the Senate po. They have 9 opposition po. Normally, noon, I think the biggest number is, I think 3 or 4 only. But this time around po, meron tayong 9 opposition senators. No? 9 opposition senators. And when she was asked about the whereabouts of Senator Bato, she said na tuloy pa rin ang trabaho ni Senator Bato, but they only don't know kung nasaan si Senator Bato. Kung nasaan si Senator Bato. And he even mentioned that about the warrant of arrest, alleged or reported or rumored warrant of arrest from the International Criminal Court or ICC po, which was spread last year po, and hanggang ngayon po there is no such thing as warrant of arrest. Let's watch and listen kay ang reply ni Senator Amy Marcos when it comes to the warrant of arrest of Senator Bato de la Rosa. Bato de la Rosa po. Let's watch and listen to this. Briefly lang ito po.
They keep saying the warrant is there. Why don't they bring it out? What are they waiting for if it's there? If it's not there, why are you terrorizing the guy and persecuting all the DDS? I don't understand. Ilabas na ninyo, iserve na ninyo kung talagang nariyan. At yung abogado niya ang sasagot. Marahil ang na yan. Okay.
Alright, yun na po. Sabi ni Senator Amy Marcos, kung totoo talaga may warrant of arrest kay Senator Bato de la Rosa, no? Why not put it out, no? The first person who announced about he saw and he has the copy, although it's not official, on warrant of arrest coming from ICC is no less than our ombudsman, si Ombudsman Boying Remulla. But hanggang ngayon po, wala po. No such thing as warrant of arrest. In fact, the ICC, International Criminal Court po, denied. And for security reasons po, si Senator Bato de la Rosa is now so-called in hiding. Hiding po is not a fugitive, but for security purposes po, no? He said that he will only come out, based on the report, he will only come out po once he will know that our justice system will make a clear policy. Because he don't want to be what happened to former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, wherein he was brought, the government of Marcos surrendered, according to the government, they surrendered Tatay Digong to the custody of the International Criminal Court. However, on the other side, the Dutertes are saying he was kidnapped. And there is, violation, human rights violation. No, because we have existing operational judicial system in the Philippines po. So, yun po, that is the problem with itong issue ng warrant of arrest kay Senator Bato de la Rosa. Alright, is there any similarity on just recently, 2 days ago po, the President of Venezuela was arrested when the United States of America carried out a military operation and arrested him, brought him to New York, and now he's facing charges dyan po sa korte sa New York. Is there any similarities? Later on, I'll touch a little bit on this po, no? But dito po, here is the sabihin natin na reaction or comment na coming from Senator Amy Marcos on the issue. On the issue po. Let's watch and listen to this po. Carefully. Carefully. Let's watch and listen to this. Nandito po.
Isipin, anong ibig sabihin ito para sa Pilipinas, no? We've been invoking time and again the rules-based international order in our claims in the South China Sea, in the West Philippine Sea. We've been saying that international law must be paramount. Ulit-ulit tayo. We have the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal decision, and we are always saying that this is the case. But very clearly, and siguro sagat na yung tao sa UN Charter, yung Article 2, Section 4, paulit-ulit yung act of force, ano? Na talagang bawal to. Wala namang UN Security Council resolution. There's no law or declaration of war from the US Congress even. And there's certainly no act of self-defense kasi ang inaatake yung Venezuela. Ngayon, ang problema dito, our principal defense ally is the US. So our question will be, para sa Pilipinas, is this a warning that they can do this to us? Not only the US, but any major power, any big power can do whatever they like to small or weak powers. This is the issue. We're very aware that the United States has done this before in 1983 sa Grenada. Meron tayong 1989 sa Panama. Sunod-sunod na yan, di ba? Yung NATO, tinalikuran. Winawarning up pati South Korea. So umaasa tayo sa US at talaga naman dapat asahan natin ang principal partner natin. But once again, we come back to the fact that in the end, Filipinos will defend the Philippines, and a self-reliant defense posture is essential. Also, the Philippines is very like Venezuela. We have a similar history. Under the Spanish, we're Catholic, thereafter naging American. So, what does it mean for small countries like us? Pwede lang tayo takipin ng China, ng Russia, katulad ng ginawa ng US, balikan naman tayo naman. Aside from being the chairperson of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the Senate, there's also a personal history here, and that's 1986. As far as my father and my family was concerned, nakidnap kami. Napunta kami sa Anderson Air Base in American planes. We ended up in Guam, thereafter in Hickam Air Base in Honolulu. As far as my father was concerned, it was an outright kidnap.
Alright, yan po, narinig natin ang reaction, ang opinion ni Senator Amy Marcos when it comes to the incident, arrest of Venezuela President si Maduro. Maduro ba yun? No? So yan po. Now, there are some questions they were saying, is there anything similar between what happened to Tatay Digong and the President of Venezuela? Now, the way how I look at it, and some opinion coming from lawyers, no? Parang ang diferensya dyan po between Tatay Digong and Venezuela President po is that the Philippines surrendered Tatay Digong to the custody of the International Criminal Court. On the other hand, on the contrary, the government of Venezuela did not surrender their president to United States. In fact, it was a military operation to arrest and get the Venezuela president, brought it to United States of America, specifically dyan po sa New York, and face trial po sa korte nila. That's the difference po. No? That's the difference. Anyway, itong case ni Tatay Digong is still being may complaint po dyan po sa Supreme Court natin sa Pilipinas, and let's see po, no? Let's see what will be the outcome, hopefully by this year po, no? And President Tatay Digong is still under the custody of the International Criminal Court and will be facing trial sa case against him po, crime against humanity, and very specific tungkol sa drug war war against drug niya po when he was a mayor, when he became the president of the Philippines po. No? And the drug war enforced by President or former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte po was very much appreciated by a lot of Filipinos, especially ordinary Filipinos po. Normal Filipinos, poor Filipinos po. No? But the elite one, the politicians, they didn't like the idea, maybe because Duterte, despite stepping down as president of the Philippines po, his popularity po never declined. Never declined po. And we are looking at 2028 presidential election po. And that is the reason why many Filipinos believe that what the Marcos administration is doing now po, allegedly, reportedly po, no? Is trying to tarnish the image of the Dutertes, no? Remove the name Duterte from the political arena in the Philippines po. Because whether we like it or not po, if the election will be held tomorrow or today po, 100% po or 110% po, the next president of the Philippines will be the daughter of the former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. I am referring to the incumbent Vice President of the Philippines is Sara Duterte po, Inday Sara Duterte. So yan po. That is exactly what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. So, ito po, this is the issue that I want to bring up sa mga followers ko po dito sa programa natin. Today is January 7 and it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. So, this is the issues that I think ang mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia and mga kababayan natin sa overseas Filipino workers natin as well as mga friends, kababayan, kaibigan natin po sa Pilipinas po deserve to know. Deserve to know po. Alright? So, in the meantime, let me read you one news article po which I also believe it is very important po. Briefly lang ito po about now we don't talk about ICC, International Criminal Court. Let's talk about the ICI, Independent Commission for Infrastructure, which was established or organized by President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos to investigate ang flood control projects, anomalous deals dyan po sa Pilipinas. And last month, another commissioner resigned from the post effective December 31. Ibig sabihin na tatlo na po former members of the commission who resigned po. And may mga balita-balita, rumors po that it will be abolished by next month. And nandito po, this is the story that I want to share with you. Let's listen carefully po. The Independent Commission for Infrastructure or ICI said it has not yet received any information or notice from Malacanang regarding the alleged schedule of dissolving the body come February 1st. Wala daw sila information po on whether the commission will be dissolved sa February 1. On Tuesday, Senator Amy Marcos told ABS-CBN News that she received information that the ICI would be formally dissolved effective first day of February or more than 4 months after it was created by President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. through an executive order. Let's quote Amy Marcos saying, I understand that there is a very very draconian timeline already established that by January 15, 3 senators and 3 congressmen are going to be charged. Thereafter, February 1, the ICI will be disbanded, Senator Marcos claimed. But when ICI Executive Director Brian Hosaka was asked regarding the matter, he said there was no official notice yet from the palace. According to Hosaka, we have not received any information or notice regarding this matter from Malacanang. Yan po. That is the latest that we have when we talk about the International Commission or Independent Commission on or for Infrastructure po, no? For infrastructure. So, in fact, the Filipinos are saying useless itong ICI po. And the Filipinos do not trust this ICI. Selective ang ano nila po ang investigation nila. But anyway, whatever information that I will be able to get, no? Sa Pilipinas, sa national media natin, sa Manila, I'll make sure that all my followers in this Nick Talk that you talk with Nico, you will be properly informed. Don't worry po. I will continue to monitor the activities in the Philippines. In the meantime po, siguro hanggang dito na lang muna ang programa natin. Today is January 7. Again, I would like to say, Happy New Year to each and every one of us. And dapat lang po, I hope that this New Year will be a prosperous one for every Filipino, for every Malaysian, for the world po, no? For the world. So, ingat tayo, take good care of ourselves. In the meantime, Nico Fabian would once again would like to say, thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, sama the Philippines, God bless us all. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye, and remember, I love you all.